Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And today we have some juicy news on the crypto markets and specifically a little bit of juice in news on XRP. So if you're excited for that, make sure you press that like button, and that might actually be a very smart idea because guys, if this video gets to 2,000 likes within 6 hours, we're going to be doing a cool giveaway. Now, what are we going to give away? I don't know yet. But once we hit 2,000 likes, I'm uploading a new video. And then you guys in the comment section, or even right now, can post what you'd like to win. It can be a ledger, just something along the lines of maybe $100 or so, just to keep it fun. Put it down below in the comment section what you'd like to see. XRP giveaway, maybe just a freaking something else. Let me know in the comment section down below. All right, having said that, right now, guys, we are looking to open a position. I'm talking, of course, about trading. Right now, the S&P is actually doing rather good. I made an Instagram story about that, where it basically crossed above the $4,500 mark, which is what we were eagerly waiting for. XRP is retesting its previous resistance here at about 62.7 cents, and Bitcoin is kind of on that same line, where it's just retesting, and right now, the last couple of minutes, it's come right back into its targeted little demand zone here. I should actually say supply zone right now for Bitcoin, and we're trying to recoup this level at about 38.7 thousand or so. And again, as I've said before, guys, if we actually do end up coming right back in and get some confirmation, we're opening a long position on Bitcoin. Same thing goes for XRP. We're opening up a long position, and theoretically speaking, we could do the same thing on the S&P. Then again, remember guys, as long as that has not happened, we are officially in our short position. Why is that so? Well, because the narrative right now is to have a short position open as a hedge unless we get a perfect signal or we want to open up a long position for. And again, guys, how that works is over on Bybit. If we're logged in, my stupid ass sometimes logs myself out. I think if you turn your computer off, it just logs you out automatically. There would be on the right here a couple of different buttons that you could press, one of them being long, one of them being short. Check the link down below for Bybit. Is the exchange that I personally use to do all my leverage trades. And that's, again, the whole premise of it all. We can do these trades with some leverage, which make it more profitable when a specific move happens. And I've explained all of this before. Then again, guys, remember, these videos are not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. All I'm doing here is giving you guys my thoughts about situations. And at the end of the day, it's not legal advice, not financial advice, and we may be wrong. Just want you guys to make sure you understand that. All right, so here's about the XP news. Crypto Law just shared this over on their Twitter. Breaking, watchdog probing evidence of conflicts of interest involving Clayton, Hinman, and Berger pushes back against SEC stonewalling the FOIA requests. So if you don't know, guys, there's this entity which is called Empower Oversight. And what they've been trying to do for quite a significant amount of time is get some information from underneath the SEC of why they made some specific choices. Now, the SEC has not really been coherent. I think that's the right word for it. They've not really been helpful. They've actually not really responded properly at all, which is when Empower Oversight basically sued them to make sure they have to answer specific things that Empower Oversight was asking for. And right now, they gave us a little bit of an update. Empower Oversight, this is before, appeals the SEC's claim of no responsive records on cryptocurrency FOIA. So that is, again, what Empower Oversight basically sued over, is the fact that Empower Oversight asked the SEC a whole lot of questions. They had to search their documents for it. And the SEC said, well, we looked through our documents, but nothing within our records here follow by your criteria. So basically, we have nothing to give you, nothing to show you, because what you requested, we have nothing of that. And of course, Empower Oversight was like, excuse me? Excuse me? What are you talking about, boy? And so they said Empower Oversight filed a new request with the SEC seeking documents that would show how it searched for records related to alleged crypto conflicts of interest before claiming that no responsive records existed. And again below, specifically, this request aims to uncover exactly how diligently the SEC searched for records relating to Clayton, Hinman, and Berger communications. Empower Oversight had previously requested that the SEC provide sworn affidavits to explain the specific step it had taken to search its systems for responsive documents, and thus far, the SEC has failed to do so. So now, guys, once more, why this is so critically important is because Empower Oversight is basically acting as the middleman between the XP community, but also just any crypto holder for that matter, and the SEC with their unfair or really difficult to understand rules, and also potentially conflicts of interest. So what they're just trying to do is not expose the SEC in any way, shape, or form necessarily. They're just trying to get the facts straight and want to rule out conflicts of interest. So in my own vision, in any way, shape, or form, they are eventually going to be getting these documents anyway, because any judge that looks at this and is like, so you just want to investigate conflicts of interest? Okay. And the SEC does not want to give you any help with that for uncovering basically fraud within a government entity? Okay. Well, this would look really bad if I said, no, you can't check the SEC for some conflict of interest. So I'm going to give it. That's again what I'm thinking, honestly. And so what they're doing is delaying the inevitable and making themselves look way more suspicious by saying, nope, we don't have anything that abides by your little criteria of things we should look for, which of course doesn't make any sense. And that's again why the Empower Oversight entity now is requesting more, or at least to research it again, or not actually that, they're also having to explain what type of search they actually did to come to the conclusion that there's nothing which they should hand over for the people to see. Which again, guys, in my own belief, in my own system, and I've thought this true for hours and hours and hours because I've been involved with this for a very long time. I don't know if there's any good conclusion that they can draw that makes sense to people. I honestly don't think so. All right, next piece of news for XRP holders out there. I already talked about this, but indeed, 1 billion XRP was unlocked, right? Yeah. Were you prepared? I hope so. And guys, if you were prepared, I made a video about this yesterday, basically, or about 17, 19, 20 hours ago or so. Make sure you press that like button as I try to get all the most important news out to you. And again, by just looking at the likes, it just helps out to understand exactly what I should be talking about next and what I should keep going on with. And then again, also put down below what your favorite crypto is so I know that we should maybe make a video about that next time. Ripple tech behemoth has unleashed another massive portion of XRP tokens and moved 20 million to one of its ODL corridors. So let's quickly check it out, right? We got a 500 million and 500 million unlock. I'm actually not 100% sure how much was put back in as I didn't check. Let's see here. In this case here, a few hours after the release, Ripple usually locks about 800 to 900 million back in of the unlocked XRP back in escrow, using the remaining 200 million to cover its operational expenses. And in this case here, let's quickly see. It doesn't necessarily say. I'm assuming again it's going to be about 800 million that they send back into escrow, keeping 200 million of which they've sent 20 million to a, which again I mentioned already in yesterday's video, the RL18VN wallet, because I'm a freaking nerd. It kind of looks like, because we've seen this so many times now throughout the years. I know what wallets they sent to. I know the freaking name of the wallet. I can almost dream the specific addresses as well that they that Ripple has by now, because we've done this so ridiculously many times. However, if you really are interested in checking out exactly how much they were sent and whatnot, I think there's actually a pretty easy way to do it. Let's quickly check it out if we can see it here. I think there's going to be too much noise in here. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So we'd actually have to look back a little bit and see exactly what wallet Ripple received these specific millions and millions and millions of XRP in, and they kind of work from there. As of this point here, it's going to be a little bit too difficult to go through everything because I didn't prepare properly. But I guess one of the things we could just do is go over to Whale Alert over on Twitter, then basically press the transaction, look where the money came into and see how much went out, or just actually follow Whale Alert over on Twitter, scroll through properly, and find the specific XRP transaction that sent it all back into escrow. Because usually there's a couple of signs in front of it, but we'd have to scroll for a couple of seconds here to find it. You know what, guys, we've committed now. And by the way, they're stolen money. People trying to send away stolen money again. Every single time I see that, I'm like, oh, 10,000 Bitcoin of stolen funds transferred from Bitfinex to an unknown wallet. They're trying to take that money away. Never good. Never nice to see 2,500 Bitcoin there. Hackers are busy today. But let's quickly see here. So 20 million XRP sent to coins.ph, which is Ripple's ODL partner for XRP. And as of this point, I don't know, guys. It's not really been sent back. We have 500 million in, 500 million in. And we don't see the locked emojis yet. So it could literally be that they haven't sent the money back just quite yet. Or this time about they're keeping everything. Very interesting. We might be able to see it for ourselves here. I actually did not prepare this because I did not expect this to be like that. Let's quickly look at the addresses and see exactly what happened. Let's check this out. So 500 million came into this wallet. That's the final transaction that happened. And of course, last month, I guess they locked it up. Let's see here. We already opened the address. In this case here, they've also received 500 million and have not sent anything out. Now, you might be wondering, why exactly is there 500 million in and the 20 million was not, deducted or anything like that? Is because these are actually what we're seeing right here, escrow executions. And as of this point, guys, because I'm sometimes a little bit stupid when I'm recording these things, I'm not 1,000% sure if this actually means they just made a new escrow or not, because of the way that it's written on this Explorer right now on BitDump. But as I'm assuming, this can mean either of two things, right? It could basically mean an escrow execution. In this sense, can mean they have received this specific XRP right now to be distributed. But it could also mean they've made an escrow. Why? Well, because, again, you can see here 500 million. It could be that this was sent to Ripple before, after receiving the escrow, but it could also be after actually putting it back into escrow they've gotten it. Why am I saying that? Well, because the escrows that Ripple makes, theoretically speaking, if you right now have an XRP account, right, you can actually lock up your escrow. I've done an entire video about how the escrow works, and it's kind of funny, right? But sometimes when you're recording these videos, you're under so much pressure, and right now it's even hard for me to make up anything, right? I would have to stop the recording right now, start back up, and kind of investigate for maybe a couple, 5 maybe minutes or so. Could do that. We'll most likely clear it up in the next video because I don't want to stop right now. I always do one take, the honest truth. So how the escrow works basically is you can decide how long you want to store something up, under what conditions, and there's actually quite a lot of variability here. You can see that there's 5 escrows right now. You can basically see that over the next couple of months, you can see here the execute after, you can see they're going to get 500 million XRP, again, every single month to this specific address. Why? Because as far as I know, they've basically escrowed it to themselves, meaning they have a time lock with the condition being only unlock after time. Sometimes there's a condition, for example, that you can actually unlock it again if you'd want to, or yada, yada, yada. No, they basically made it conditionless, I guess, or they made it that it will only unlock after a certain specific amount of time, which I think is about 5 years for every single one of these things. And yeah, they just send it to themselves, which is why I'm sometimes a little bit confused. But it could literally be so, and that's what I believe now, that this means they just got the 500 million on both of these. They got it into their wallet, and right now they can again open up an escrow, which on a different Explorer it says escrow creation, I think. But I'm not so sure what it's supposed to say over on BitDump, which is just different Explorers have different names for those specific things. And again, it's not really too hard, but you're going to have to look through it a little bit for all the different definitions and whatnot. We could actually, whatever, it doesn't really matter anyway. They'll most likely send another 800 million back. And if not, it's going to be interesting. The reason I don't think it could be escrow deposit, basically, is because then it would have put him back in 1 billion, which the likelihood is very small. But yeah, we'll see pretty shortly here. All right, so a little bit of a side story, guys. I'm sorry that I took your time for so much right there. If I was a real fake YouTuber, I would cut it out right now and just only act as if I knew from the get-go everything. No, I'm not perfect. Sometimes I make a mistake, and you gotta see that in that sense, The whole entire crypto space is still a mystery to everybody that's in it as well. You think Michael Saylor knows everything? Oh, no. Otherwise, he would have most likely made quite a significant amount of different choices. And I think the most important part is that we figure it out and know how to make ourselves the best out of everything that we see and happen and whatnot. And again, if there's something you don't know, as long as you're able to look it up and you're, keeping that curiosity, I think we're on a good path, So Michael Saylor says he just bought another 660 Bitcoin for 25 million bucks in cash at an average price of 37.8 million thousand per Bitcoin. As of the 31st of January, we hold about 125,000 Bitcoin for about $3.4 billion, which is actually the acquiring price at about $30.2 thousand per Bitcoin. Wow. That is actually a really big flex, We talked earlier about how their earnings call was going to be rather negative or rather strange, but in the way that this man is just balling, I don't really think any earnings call can be bad, because literally this guy, his entire purpose in crypto is to buy more Bitcoin. Again, this makes for a couple fun arguments about how eventually more and more Bitcoin will be locked in companies like this, and so it will become more illiquid, which again is not necessarily a one-to-one with a higher price. Then again, do remember, the more that Bitcoin goes up in price, the more that altcoins will go up in price. And so the more that they accumulate and the more they keep inside their systems, the better, sort of. Then again, it also depends a little bit on how exactly the companies are structured, because if it's a company like Grayscale and even partially like MicroStrategy, then the entire appeal for people to buy that stock is because of the backing by Bitcoin, which basically in some weird shape or form is the same as these Bitcoins being on the market from some perspective, because again, people are investing in that stock and they're only buying as much MicroStrategy as long as the people are actually buying the MicroStrategy stock and they can actually get more, so to speak. So there's a little bit of a broader theory behind that, but those are my thoughts. Then again, it's also not too relevant, as right now, as it currently stands, MicroStrategy is freaking beasting through it, and I really applaud them for whatever that they are trying. And then again, to quickly come back on the Ripple v SEC lawsuit, because again, I don't know, I'm addicted to this. Let's do the freaking TV show. Angie Lau said, John Deaton, the lawyer for 63,000 XP investors, invites non-US investors to demand a congressional investigation of the SEC for impropriety. Yeah, as I've also said over on Twitter, it's kind of strange that the SEC, I guess the freaking government or whatever you want to call it right there, is ignoring 65,000 people. Kind of strange, you know? And so John Deaton giving up a little call, like, hey, acknowledge us, do something about this. It's nothing but normal, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know exactly what else to kind of draw there. It's like, how in the world can you decide to ignore 65,000 people for an issue where, again, they're asking something which is completely reasonable? It's not as if they're trying to uncover the deepest secrets of the government where I could be like, I understand they don't want to give this out publicly. But in this case here, it's just a potential conflict of interest that they're trying to uncover. But most importantly, they're trying to uncover whether or not they made an investment which was legal or not. It's like a very logical question, because the SEC kind of seems to say they didn't, and they kind of seem to think they did. And the SEC says, well, it's really clear, but the people don't think so. And that's, again, the very important point behind it. And that's what makes it so weird that they're not giving up these answers and being such, let's not cuss here today, such not so nice people about it. Let's put it like that. Guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. Hopefully learn something new from it. Yeah, giveaway time could be something fun. If we don't hit it, no worries. We'll try again a little bit later in another video. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today.